Hi everyone, this is Margaret Manning and welcome to a special edition of Mornings with 60 and Me. Our topic today is ridiculous myths about women over 60. Women over 60 today are creating a whole new category of bold, dynamic women who have, style, energy, and ability. And it's actually quite surprising that some of these myths are still continuing. So I'd like to discuss 6 myths I think are following women over 60 and how, I would challenge them and give you a different perspective. And yeah, I'd love your comments on this as we go. And one of the great strengths about 60 and Me, I think, is that we provide a place for women to talk about these myths and a sense of a voice that we can speak out against them. So I'd like to go through these myths and get your feedback and just kind of restate where we stand. So women over 60 have lived through 6 amazing decades. We lived through the kind of innocent 50s, the radical 60s, political 70s, and maybe the more liberated 80s. And in 90s were perhaps a bit more challenging. And in the 2000s, we have been liberated really by technology. And, we're empowered now to live our lives in a different way. So I think the first myth that surrounds women over 60 is that our world is shrinking. Somehow as you get older, you want to do less, be less, be engaged in less activity, and basically sit by the fire, I suppose, and knit or slide into the sunset gracefully. And this kind of shrinking world just isn't true. We, as women over 60, have a lot that we want to contribute to the world. And, it's not that our brain shrinks. It's actually that we're learning more. And I think this myth is probably started because so many women today are living in a different world than a few years ago. We've got so many tools now to empower us to engage. So I think rather than a shrinking world, we live in an expanding world, a world where our reality is open to all kinds of opportunity, and we are taking them. We are embracing it, and it's just amazing. The second myth is kind of related to that, and that is that women over 60 have no interest in technology and really can't learn new things. And this is a pretty ridiculous myth, too, if you base it on experience of what women are doing these days. We're starting new businesses. We're going back to school and getting advanced degrees. We're learning technology at a rate that is, faster than any other demographic. I think some of the social media sites, women over 50, are the largest growing demographic. So we are definitely, we have lots of aspirations, and we definitely want to engage with the world. And learning new things is something that we take on as a challenge. It's what we want to do, and I think the myth is probably so grounded in the fact that women, before our generation, had a very traditional family experience. They were expected to live a certain life after 50 and 60, and we're just breaking through that now. That myth does not apply to women today in their 60s. The third myth is that women over 60 are old, invisible, and useless. So this is truly ridiculous because, it's just not the case. Women over 60 have a choice. If you want to be not invisible, if you don't want to be part of that game of dressing up and playing society's games to be noticed, you don't have to do that. But you're not invisible in the sense that you don't have an impact. A lot of women these days are definitely embracing a very visible lifestyle. They're in politics, they're in leadership roles, and as parents, they're taking amazing, positions with their grandkids, with their own children, and being an example and a leader, as a mentor, and volunteering opportunities. And so women are definitely there, visible in the world. And in terms of being useless, I think that's a myth that has held back women of all ages really forever. The sense that we're not good enough, that we're not strong enough, and women over 60 are hopefully leading the way to show that that is not the case, that we have opened new doors in just about every walk of life. We are visible, we are vocal, and we're getting our message across that we are here to help and to make a difference. The myth number 4, I think, is one that is very controversial, and that is the myth that women over 60 are no longer interested in sex. Now, this is one that we have a lot of conversations on 60 and Me about, because some women are not interested in having a relationship with a man and dating. They've maybe just moved on from that. They've got other priorities in their life. But that doesn't mean that they're not interested in sexuality, in sensuality in their lives, that they don't want to look great, they don't want to look beautiful, and they don't want to feel engage with their feminine power, with their feminine side. And whether it's, actually, being interested in having sex with a man or a woman, it's just, that's not the question. The question is that women are interested in being sexual, sensual beings. And I think that that's the myth that needs to be shattered, that we are not interested in that. We've had a lot of conversations about how you bring sensuality into your life if you're not in a relationship. And it's okay to not want to be dating in your 60s, but it's okay to want it too. It's okay to want to be loved and to be nurtured and to be, I don't know, to have an expression for your feminine sexual self. So I think that myth is transforming, and I don't think it's fair to say that we don't have an interest. It's just we have a choice now. The fifth myth that I think we need to challenge is that women over 60 have no sense of style. This one is really, for me, just so obvious. If you look around today, you see women over 60 doing all kinds of amazing things with fashion. I've interviewed so many great fashion designers and people who are leading the way with new and interesting ways to dress. We just don't seem to go by the rules anymore. So we have a bit of a bohemian creative self that comes out. And, a lot of women put focus on being comfortable, but that certainly doesn't mean that we don't have a sense of style, or that we don't want, to experiment. I mean, we just do not have the permed hair, pink handbag and matching jacket mentality anymore. We are doing cool things with fashion and getting out there and enjoying, creating our own sense of style. And and not being judged by what others think is the way to be considered beautiful. Beauty in your 60s is more of a product of the internal manifestation of your experience, your understanding and your perception from a deeper sense of life. Can't really describe it in any other way. So the sense of style is complex, it is beautiful, and it is definitely there. So no sense of being old and lacking style. The final myth is that women over 60 don't have a voice. That is a crazy myth, and it is ridiculous, because we do. If you just have to look at some of the situations going on in the world to see how women are having an impact. And I'm not just talking about people, for example, in the UK, where we've got 2 women competing now for the leadership of the Conservative Party. We have women going into space. There's a group just went up to the International Space Station. There were 2 women in that group. Women are taking an equal role in all kinds of careers and opportunities, and so I think that the fact that we are speaking out from within those places is an indication that we do have a voice. It may be that we're not valued by society completely yet, because society isn't used to this parity of women in careers and in jobs and in community positions. But that's changing. And I think there's a misconception that women over 60 don't have a voice. We do. And 60 and Me, for me personally, is the way that we give 250,000 women that we reach the opportunity to express themselves, to have a voice, and to share their wisdom and their, just their perspective on life. So I think that the bottom line is that women over 60 are complex beings. We have lived through some tough times, and so we bring to life and to the society a lot of very unusual and beautiful wisdom. But we don't really, in my opinion, map to those 6 myths about older women. We're shaping a whole new definition of older women, and I'm just so proud to be part of a community that has some incredible women doing really beautiful, amazing things in their world. So that's my point of view on myths surrounding women over 60. I would love your feedback. Please, in the comment section below, let us know. What do you think is the biggest misconception about women over 60? Look forward to your comments and to joining the conversation with you. Thank you for being here. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Take good care.